You're pretty pure also.
Well, we try.
You're
You're
a gang star.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that very much, very much. All right, here we are backstage at the pageant, and what a big night that St. Louis has been waiting for a long time. Greta Van Fleet joining us, and we've got you here to chat with you. Thank you guys very much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
All right, first and foremost, let's be honest here. Be honest.
Oh.
Uh-oh. This is tough.
Oh, no, this isn't bad at all.
Okay.
With Danny's Pinky, was there were some of these shows in doubt? Was it that close? They would have had to have been the poor guy. How do you do that?
Yesterday in Cleveland was kind of a toss-up until we took him to a doctor, and
he's a specialist in New York.
We took him to a specialist. So like a sports specialist.
We had the show in New York.
Panorama. We had to cancel the Panorama because there was no way he could even play.
I mean, his hands were mutilated.
He had a blood blister that stuck out like that, and then I think it's his right hand is doing pretty well now, but his left hand's still kind of like. So we're kind of changing up the set to make it a little bit easier.
There's a previous show. I think the breaking point for him, because the way that Danny is, he's very quiet, and he's very wants to be the guy who makes everybody take a hit for something.
Sure.
So I think it was the breaking point was at Floyd Fest when we played like an hour and a half set, and at the very end when he was doing a solo at the very end of Safari song, he must have hit something, and I saw some blood lip up on top of one of the drums, so I think he broke something, one of those blisters, and he started just reaming the kit and pushing outward and just destroying the whole thing.
He's being in so much pain and doing
he was just screaming, and I could hear it even though the wedges are loud. So I think that was the point where and I looked at his hands and they were mutilated after that.
Wow. So. Well, we appreciate you making it through. We're really excited to hear new music from you guys, but I want to go back a little bit, and I want to go back to about the time when the labels and stuff, or management, agents, whatever, started knocking. Do you guys remember, what do you guys kind of remember about that time? Because I would bet from my end that there was a feeding frenzy somewhere along the way there. And how did you guys manage that, and who helped you guys through
I think
that
we
time?
really, as far as the record label goes, we waited to find someone who understood us and understood that we're not sacrificing any creative freedom ever. Mm-hmm. And we landed that amazingly with Jason. I mean, just meeting the guy, and he's so on par with what our music is, and he knows exactly let the musicians make the music. Mm-hmm. Yes, and when record companies get in the way of artists' identity, that's when things get bad, because it's unfortunate, but if we're not happy, then no one's going to be happy with it.
Sure,
right?
but how do you guys know that? I mean, this is legitimately, you hear the phrase, "This ain't my first rodeo," but for you guys, it was it's very. I think it's very. It's great that you were asking for that, but I mean, who were you watching, or who were you talking to that were like, "Listen, this is what you have to have if you're going to go with this label."
Right. Well, I
think that we've been fortunate to have sort of to be able to prospect.
Nothing but the best manager in the world.
Yeah, and I think that we've been given the resources and and the knowledge to know what we need, how we need things to be structured for us to be the most effective, and to maintain all control. And I think that we have have a brilliant manager who's given us a lot of this informative stuff, and producer who kind of helped us evolve as well. And so I think that step by step, we kind of grew a team that was essential for our personalities and what we wanted to create and to maintain control.
Again, I mean, just like any sports team, I mean, chemistry is such a huge, huge thing. So talk about this record. I know that I read that, you guys had recorded a bunch of songs, got to the studio, and then a bunch more creative stuff was happening there. So I think the record is a lot more now, these newer songs that you've written than some of these older tracks.
Because when we got in there, we thought, well, we have all these songs, let's record them. And we started recording them, and we're like, okay, this is good. But then we're like, then when we would get to the studio the next day with another idea that, because we would sit in the house for the night and, write stuff. And then we'd be in the studio the next day and get something really, really cool.
Right. Very good. What can we look forward to on this record? Where, if you had to tell one of your fans tonight, looking forward to this, here is what to expect. What would you tell them?
Yeah, I think that it's a more refined and definite sort of picture of who we are musically and artistically now. You know, I think that as far as we've come within the last year and a half and playing shows and just exploring the world and just meeting new people and playing with new musicians. I mean, a lot of the people that we've met along the way, like Elton John was another one. When he tells you something like, you know, flaunt what you've got, then you listen, and it's sort of a bullshit filter where someone could tell you, there's a ton of people telling you things, you're like, oh, okay, it's not something often that you haven't previously, you know, thought about and that you haven't critiqued yourself on, you know, but if someone like that says something to you,
so yeah, it's basically,
then those are changes.
As we've learned a lot,
But
we've
the album
learned
has
a
come from
lot touring in the past year and a half, and I think that it really shows on the tapes because pretty much every song on there was just a live take in the studio. Wow. You know, like, and
it's our first full-length album.
Yeah.
You know,
so
I think there's maturity.
Yeah, I think that's what was really important about it. We wanted to take what was happening on stage and make it happen in the studio.
Yeah, well, I've never been so convinced that you guys are going to continue to grow with as much as you are students of what you're doing. You know what I mean? I mean, it's very obvious that, you know, it is not all about the peripheral stuff. Like you it's the craft, and you want to be good at the craft, and you can absolutely tell.
And
that.
there's constant evolution.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
You'll never
that's the incredible thing about music.
As long as you search.
And just all the arts. You learn something every single day. Yeah. Every single time you pick up a guitar or anything, you learn something about music.
I couldn't get over the Elton John factor. I have a terrible thing with you know, people like that. You know, that I would just it would just be terrible. There would be no way that I would make any kind of imprint on it whatsoever.
I think we really felt that way too until he walked into the room, walked up on stage. You know, he gave us all hugs.
Yeah. Hey boys, how we doing? You know, and it's like that was probably one of the most stressful days. But as soon as he says hello, gives you a hug, and it's just all fears.
Pressure's off, you know. And when he sat down at the piano, we have a great musician, songwriter, singer, everything right here.
Just one.
Yeah, it's like, you know, at that moment when we played together, you know, it turned into a different band. And he has that power. He has that power about him.
I mean, he's just one of those guys. I mean, even the hits, whatever. I mean, you listen to that guy and just the songwriting that he was doing with Bernie and all those other things. I mean, it was just tremendous. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Have a great time this weekend in Chicago doing Lollapalooza.
Thank you, Donny.
You've got things to do, and I'm going to check out hats like that. I've been working on coming up with some new lids.
Yeah.
Baseball caps are getting too taller, and my head's getting weirder. I don't know what's going on.
This is a good safe bet. This is a good safe hat.
I like it a lot.
It's not offensive to anyone.
You can ball it up, put it in your bag. You don't
and you get like ruffled
special.
corners like this, and
it's just ready to roll. It's ready to roll. Gentlemen, thank you so much, and continued good luck and success.
Well, thank you,
Thank you very much. Very good. Thank you, gentlemen, very much.